Ad hominem, logical fallacy. An ad hominem is a logical fallacy which claims that the conclusion of the opposing argument is false because of the person who is making the argument. This is a bad type of argument because it says the opposing argument cannot be correct because of the person who made the argument. But arguments are based on evidence, not on people. Ad hominem has a couple of type of structures. So the first and most common type goes something like this. Person A claims that X is good or true. Therefore, X is not good or true. Second type looks like this. Person A claims that X is good or true. But person A is, and you'll put whatever unflattering or bad phrases to use about this person, to describe this person, then you'll conclude, therefore, X is not good or true. So here's an example. Bobby, who's an idiot, claims that sleeping is good for you. Therefore, sleeping cannot be good for you. Notice, there's no evidence here. The issue is whether sleeping is good for you. And your only evidence is, Bobby said it is, therefore it can't be true. But where's the evidence? Example number 2. Senator Jameson has argued that the current government is good. But Senator Jameson is part of the government who gets paid for what he does. Therefore, the current government is not good. So the issue is whether the current government is good. This person's only piece of evidence that it's not good is Senator Jameson is part of the government. So what he says doesn't count. But where's the real evidence? Are you showing whether the government is hurting people? Is that why it's not good? There's no evidence in this argument. So that's why ad hominem is a fallacy. It mistakes the person making the argument for whether the argument is strong or not. How do we identify ad hominem? Well, number 1, we determine the premises and conclusion of an argument. After we have done that, we ask a question. Are the premises talking about the person making the argument? And if the answer is yes, then we ask a second question. Is the conclusion based on the person and not any other evidence to support the argument? If the answer here is yes, then you've identified an ad hominem. Why is this a fallacy, though? It's a fallacy because it takes the argument off topic. It switches the focus from the argument to the person. But in an argument, we need to focus on the evidence, because an argument is about the evidence used to support a point, and not the person making the argument. But there are exceptions. If the argument is actually about a person, for example, you're looking at whether they're qualified to be good for a job or task, or whether they make a reliable witness in court, and you find something negative in their character, then it works. This is a real argument. There's no fallacy here. But that's only if the argument is about the person. The arguments that we have seen so far are not about the people. They're about issues like sleeping and like whether the government is good. Here's another example of ad hominem. Joey thinks school is good for everyone, but Joey is an advanced student who is doing well in school. Therefore, school cannot be good for everyone, but only for advanced students. Now, some of you are thinking this actually looks like a good argument. It only looks like a good argument. It's not a real good argument, because when you look at it, the issue is whether school is good for everyone. If he's an advanced student and doing well in school, how did that destroy his argument? Where's the evidence that school cannot be good for everyone? This person did not provide any. That's why ad hominem makes for very bad arguments. Example number 4. Bob is a politician who says we should regulate business. And politicians do not know what they are talking about. Therefore, we should not regulate business. Notice, the issue is whether we should regulate business. But there's no evidence to show whether we should or not. This person's only evidence is they're saying politicians are bad. Therefore, we should not regulate business. So, where's the evidence? I didn't see any stats. I didn't see any evidence to support this argument. Trivia. The term ad hominem is a Latin term which means to the person, because it changes the focus of the argument from the evidence used to support the conclusion to the person making the argument. And that's actually going off topic. Like this last example. Jimmy says exercise is good for people, but Jimmy does not exercise. Therefore, exercising is not good for you. Again, what we know about exercise, all the evidence, shows that it's good for us. Just because someone who does not exercise makes the argument that exercise is good for you does not mean his argument's false. We have to look at the evidence. Thanks for watching. Until next time.